Right now, I have to stop saying.
And for those not wondering, that's the cue that the show has started. Although, was it yesterday? Luds heard that, and then the mic was still tucked away in the back. It was. It was fun.
Busy securing the float.
You were, but you were happy about it, weren't you?
Yes.
And you got a nice response from all the alums about that too, from 99.
I did. I took the little clip that John sent out, and I copied it, which I know how to do that. I copied it and pasted it and sent it to like 12 guys, and I swear it was within less than a minute. They had all responded. All come like awesome, can't wait, blah, blah, blah. There were a couple that were actually hilarious that I know.
Usually, how hard is it to get that many responses from that group?
Well, you know what? They're pretty good, but they'll be. It's not like it's immediate like that. This was crazy that it was all at the same time. And I think of guys like Keener being in Winnipeg and, you know, guys like that. I didn't send anything to like Zuby. He's in Russia. You know, he wouldn't come back anyways. But it was
not
funny.
to sit on a parade float with Bud Lights or Miller Lights. And they were all kind of one. And I'll bet you every one of them, maybe one or two, with the exception, had an exclamation mark on it. So fired up.
Yeah, they were fired up. So look out, Dallas, if this happens.
Who is that guy?
Luds, do you have?
Hi, Sean.
Hello, everyone.
Sean is reverted.
Can we turn him up at all, or is he already?
He's reverted back to his high school football reporting look, where he got confused for an actual high school student.
Yes, where I was asked what grade I was in. So,
Sean, I'm sure you're familiar with this name. Yeah, Whitey Bulger.
Yes, that name does ring a bell. Why is that name ringing a bell?
Well,
he's not a very nice guy.
He's passed away now. But Whitey was.
Yeah.
Well, John would know. John's got a smile. John would know. He was a Bostonian that pretty much ran it. Anyway, somebody I played with, it was his father-in-law. And I had been out to dinner with him a few times while I was in Montreal. And I swear to God, every time we went to dinner, I was with, and I just said, "That's not Whitey." Like, yeah, it is. And you look different every single time I saw him. And him and his wife. So anyway, but you kind of have that. Who is this guy?
Sean, he was he was a mob boss.
Yeah.
Organized crime syndicate. John, I didn't know the name of the group off the top of my head, so I had to look it up. Are you familiar with the Winter Hill Gang?
Yes, he is.
I know where Winter Hill is in Boston.
So that's what northwest of Boston.
Let's move on.
It's in Somerville.
I've
been to Somerville. Somerville.
Look,
we haven't even got to the little 30-second thing.
I have a quick hockey question for Luds on this that gets us back on the road. Luds, do you guys have a normal group chat like of the 99 team, or is that do you text guys separately? Okay.
Yeah. No, we don't. That's why it was. That's why the only you know the hockey chats, right?
Like group texting,
alumni skates, the league night thing, all that kind of stuff is on a group thing, and I can't stand it. There's like 20-some guys on there. You know what I mean? And it's always going on. But anyway, this is actually the first time I've ever done that with this group. And it was only because when I saw the thing come up, and that's what I mean. It was just impressive for me. I was really pleasantly surprised when so many of them, piped back and got in there. There's guys like Dave Reed. I don't have his number. He's in Toronto. I know I could track him down. But there's Beaker. I didn't send anything to Beaker. And because I thought,
because he works for another team now.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of hard.
But you did probably send something to Madonna, who also works for another team.
Yeah, but Mo was really happy about it. I wouldn't call what Mo does work to start with. Good for him. But anyway, I didn't send anything to Beaker. Who else was? Keener's working with them, but I didn't care about them. There was one other guy I'm trying to think of. I thought it wouldn't be the right thing to do, but anyway, it was awesome to see that.
Would you like to toss us to the intro?
I don't even know what that means.
We're past the 4-minute mark of the cold open, so yeah, if we'd like to
let's start the show.
It's not a cold open then anymore.
Why can't we just red hot open. Let's go.
Get ready, boys.
Well, we don't always use that kind of language here at DLLS, but I'll tell you what.
Luds does.
I know what the open is now. Now, you should have just said the the minute thing where there's no stars,
Yes.
logos or no stars players on it.
That's all I needed. 30 seconds.
Okay. Show number 115, and Luds finally knows what the intro is.
Is that
Well, it's
is that
because,
accurate?
Because it's the one with no stars jerseys on it.
Are
You
we
know, it's
actually
all
at show
Cowboys
number
and
115?
Mavs and Rangers and all them guys.
That's a lot.
Is it 115?
It's north of 100.
Yeah. We've been going for a while. Triple digits here.
Congratulations,
Sean
everybody.
is here, sans mustache. So
Yes.
welcome back to the show in your new era, which will begin going back towards the Forrest Gump running phase as soon as possible. That's always my favorite thing. Sean gets to the point where he's either going to run coast to coast across the country, coming up with impromptu billboards and T-shirts, or he's going to get a haircut. So that's usually the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the single thumbs up doesn't work when you're isolated because it goes outside of your view.
Well, I'm
You
just
can
trying to
see
match. I'm trying to match the button below me.
See, there
Hey.
it works when you go full. So that's
Yeah,
why you
yeah.
have to do the 2 thumbs up, the peace sign, whatever it is to get all the other actions. Sean
But just,
Shapiro.
just to get the like button, I'm not doing that. We got to have something more exciting for the lasers. So
Okay, so the like button's important. So if you're on the show,
It is.
if you're watching right now,
I hate it.
hit that like button, that thumbs up.
Yeah.
Help us out.
that one,
Right there. There it is.
That
It's
one
right
right
underneath
there.
the video. He's
There
Sean
you go.
Shapiro. He's Craig Ludwig. He's Sam Nestler. I'm Owen Newkirk. Our producer, John Anderson, is at the controls. And I love that he does like a half a second.
It's called a drive-by.
That's right. Hot Sam in the studio. Can Luds, you give us a quick teaser for who's going to be joining our show next Monday?
Craig Buttons.
Ooh.
Sean, have you talked to him? I'm sure you've talked to him
Yeah.
many times. Yeah, I figured that.
We've spoken multiple times. I was saying to Owen, I'm not sure whether Craig will remember me directly or not. We've definitely spoken. It's kind of one of those conversations where we've talked in press boxes and about things before. So I'll be fascinated if Craig remembers who I am or not. But we've definitely spoken, and we have good mutual friends. So I'm sure there's some connection there.
I want to say that both in the American Airlines Center press box for a game at some point, he was up there, and also I think at the draft.
Yeah,
I've talked to him, but I don't know if it was enough where he'd go, oh, I remember you guys. Like, awesome guy. Very, very nice. You know him really well.
Yeah, well, he was part of management, obviously, with the Dallas Stars,
Yeah.
and he was general manager with Calgary, and now he's doing TSN stuff in Canada. But Sean, the reason I brought that up is because if you can mention just a player's name, like a draft pick and things like that, or guys coming up that are 17, 16, 15, he knows everything about every one of them. He's so well versed and knowledgeable, and I mean, again, this would be, I know we're going to be talking about some of that stuff today.
Right now,
this would be stuff that if you have names and things like that, it would be great to bring those up. On what is that day? Is it Monday?
Monday
Yeah.
show,
Yeah,
1
Monday.
o'clock. Will be, I think, right here in the podcast studio. Sam, would you like to tease something on Wednesday next week?
Yeah, double guess.
You have to get up to
I
the
forgot
mic,
the
though.
microphone's in here. I can't
Can't
sit
lean
back
back
like that.
unless you take it and go back with you.
Yeah,
Then you can do
I
that.
need a couch.
Sean can definitely do
On
that.
Wednesday, we will have our first player guest, Mr. Mason Marchment, will join the show, which will be very entertaining and probably the best first player to have because he is going to be
He will be
fun
entertaining
to talk to.
He's not
got
going to be in studio though.
some stories. No, he'll be remote. We're still figuring out some details, but he will be joining us on Wednesday next week.
Still working on trying to get the starting goalie to come down to sit with us.
I stepped on his white shoes today on accident, so he
Why?
probably is not going to talk to us for a long
Why
time.
would you do that?
I didn't mean to. I was trying to move away from the bag, and then I stepped on the shoe. It's just
don't step on the shoes,
a whole
especially the
thing.
white ones. All right, let's go to Sean. Sean, you had a great piece in our website today, DLS. Go to alldls.com. You can read it if you'd like. And it goes directly to the trade deadline activity by Jim Nill and the Dallas Stars. And then when Nill was on our show earlier this week, and I asked him about this change from never giving up first round picks, or the one time he almost did was basically conditionally with the Zuccarello trades, but then they didn't meet the conditions to elevate those 2 firsts. And then the Nils Lundqvist, which was a trade for a first, but he also basically felt like he was getting a prospect that had moved a few years past the draft year.
Yeah.
This year was different, and we asked him, and I thought the quote he said, I could have 10 years of first, I'm probably not going to draft Mikko Rantanen. And that really shows a shift in philosophy, but then it leaves the question, how do the Dallas Stars make up for lacks of high round picks, which is, as you and I've talked about off the air many times, the scouting has gotten so good around the league that if you're not taking somebody in the top 3 rounds, it's a real surprise if you get a big hit.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that happened for the Dallas Stars was obviously hitting in the 5th round and getting Jamie Benn and hitting on that, and then hitting on John Klingberg in the 5th round too. Great. But I think one of the worst things that did was it set a terrible representation of how the NHL draft worked for the Stars fan base. And I've dealt with this from a coverage standpoint for a decade now, where people, because of what Jamie Benn and John Klingberg did, people think that, well, 5th and 6th round picks are legitimate NHL prospects. And not to be harsh about it, but I'm going to be harsh about it. Really, if you're not drafted in the first 3 rounds, your chance of making the NHL is something like 2-3%. It's not high at all, and that's across a board everywhere. So the Stars effectively are more or less punting on the draft over the next 3 years. They've got only 1 pick before the end of the 4th round, I believe, in each of the next 3 years. And so how do you fix that? And now no one here would reverse the trade. No one would reverse that. But now for Jim Nill and his staff, his job is to find the ways to fill a prospect pool where you won't be getting those draft picks the right way. And so this is where, and this is what I wrote about today, and we can talk a little bit more about some options. This is where the Stars have to be a little bit more proactive in college free agency. The Stars have dove into college free agency before, but now they go from, because of the trade to a college free agent, they now become into CHL free agents potentially as well. But right now the timing is college guys. They become a much more attractive option, because if you're a college free agent, you finished up your college career, maybe you're leaving your junior year, you're picking essentially your spot based on opportunity. There's no contract things that you can do separately. Entry-level deals are entry-level deals. So you're looking at depth charts, you're looking at how teams develop guys, and you're looking at chances to eventually make the NHL. And right now the Stars fit all of those boxes. Justin Ritzkovian is a perfect living example of signed out of Northeastern last year, played 5 NHL games this year, is now effectively in the top 15 forwards or so on the Stars already, after just playing college hockey at this time last year. The trade of Logan Stankoven, the moving of first round picks. If you're a 20, 21-year-old 22 college players leaving, you look at that and you're like, they don't have those first round picks that are going to block my opportunity. And I can maybe do what Ritzkovian did this year. So the Stars all of a sudden go from a attractive option, which they already were, to a really attractive option depth chart wise for those guys who are looking at the end of their college careers to come and sign. And it's going to be a big, and the reason we are talking about this today, Owen, is ties into your guys' great conversation with Jim Nill on Tuesday, but also college hockey tournaments going this weekend. Some teams are going to be done and out soon. And
you're talking about conference tournaments this week.
Yes,
Gophers are already out. Barf.
Yep. Well, they're going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
they're in the NCAA tournament. There's some of the guys we're going to talk about soon are playing. If they lose games, our top guy on my list, if they lose this weekend, he might be playing pro hockey on Monday. So that's kind of why we're having this conversation now.
Well, it's important for the Stars to go this route because of the lack of picks, but also because, Sean, we were talking, I just did a quick skim of, this is maybe a conversation we have another topic, which is how picks below basically the 2nd round are not worth what a lot of people lean on them, or at least they used to. If you but if you put aside Oscar Beck, just because he's a 3rd round pick from 2018 and he's played 58 NHL games all this year, let's just say he hasn't become yet a mainstay in the Stars lineup over multiple years. Okay.
Yeah.
If that's the definition, because he's been in the lineup mainstay most of the year this year, good player, but he's not a multi-year roster player yet. So if you just put that aside for now, the last time the Dallas Stars had a below 2nd round draft pick play substantial minutes for them is 2012 Esa Lindell.
Wow.
So think about that. We're talking about a dozen drafts, and that is just not a thing anymore, right? It's not. You're not going to find the diamonds in the rough as frequently as you used to. But The difference is the Stars have really flipped and hit on firsts back when we were seeing the later round picks cashing in, getting those late Jamie Benns or, even Jyrki Jokipaka playing 150 games from a 7th round pick. Well, they were also not doing so well in first and second rounds back then.
Well,
they've completely turned that around.
To give you an idea of how much being drafted in the first 2 rounds is a sign or better, you also get better opportunity. And this is another show we can have closer to the draft about all this. But you think about the Stars lineup right now. Jamie Benn and Mason Marchment, who's going to be a guest on the show next week. Good plug there.
Nice tease.
Excellent.
We're not high draft picks. Mason Marchment wasn't drafted at all. They are the rarity. Wyatt Johnston drafted in the first 2 rounds. Mikko Rantanen drafted the first 2 rounds. Jason Robertson first 2 rounds. Matt Duchene first 2 rounds. Mikhail Granlund first 2 rounds. Maverick Bourque first 2 rounds. Evgeny Dadonov first 2 rounds. Sam Steele first 2 rounds. Thomas Harley first 2 rounds. Ilya Labushkin first 2 rounds. Cody Ceci first 2 rounds. Lian Bichsel first 2 rounds. Matt Dumba first 2 rounds.
Wow.
The Stars, Jake Oettinger too. You go through all of the lineup and you think about opportunity. I'm not even talking Rope Hintz is out. He's a 2nd round pick. Tyler Seguin was a 1st round pick. Miro Heiskanen is a 1st round pick. If you are not drafted in the first 2 rounds, you have a long, long road to make the NHL. That is just the reality of how it works. And
there are, Sean, 11 players in Wyatt Johnston's draft, which was 2021. Yeah. 11 players in the first 2 rounds that have played over 100 games in the NHL. Some of them have played almost 250. Not quite yet. Owen Power, Matty Beniers. Sillinger has played 275, and Wyatt Johnston's at 228. Can you guess how many players from rounds 3 through 7 have played triple digits?
I'm looking over your shoulder.
2. I'm guessing
That's
2. I don't
high.
actually.
It's 0.
It's 0.
0? Okay.
Yes. And frankly,
A lot of blank numbers on that side.
The 6th round, not one player's played an NHL game, period.
Yeah.
It just goes to your point where that's the thing. Let's carry this over real quick, and then we'll get into some Mikko Rantanen talk here on the DLS Dallas Stars podcast.
I've got Saturday Neon in break 1, ad 1. Thankfully, I double-checked that before waiting here. So started by 2 college buddies, Saturday Neon makes officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs perfect for your home, office, dorm room, fan cave, or bar. And I know Luds is a fan cave. Check out their new Essentials collection featuring 50 of the biggest schools across the country and counting for only $75. Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. Unlike traditional neon, these LED signs won't break or shatter, but still give you that classic uniform glow that you know and love. And the LEDs last up to 100,000 hours, so you'll be enjoying your sign for years to come. It's the perfect gift for the upcoming holiday season, which still baffles me every time that this says holiday season in this ad read. I guess maybe Arbor Day is a holiday now. But head over to SaturdayNeon.com and use the code DLLS for 10% off your favorite sign.
Thank you, Sean. That was excellent. Let's talk about Sleeper. Sleeper is the best fantasy platform out there. Put your ball or puck knowledge to the test by picking whether your favorite or least favorite player will have more or less than their projected stats each week. I have a tough time saying the word projected. Tonight, I have Chicago Blackhawks forward and probably future captain Connor Bedard absolutely ripping and pasting one for a goal against the San Jose Sharks because, well, they are the San Jose Sharks. If it hits, you can win 2.77 times your money. With Sleeper, the more picks you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. They'll keep you in the loop with instant alerts and breaking news so you always stay up to date and can outsmart your friends. If you think you have what it takes, new users can download the Sleeper app and use the code DLSSTARS to get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. Apply to any contest, doesn't have to be your first. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
Look at this.
And maybe check out Sleeper today again.
Check out the peeping Tom over your shoulder.
We're out of the read now.
Hooters is on fire again.
On fire?
Come on.
Wait, literally on fire?
No, it's on fire.
Come on.
So the restaurant that is adjacent to our building.
What?
The bringer of bad news.
Take
that
pictures.
is going to.
Hey, you gotta go look.
Can I go look?
Video.
Go look. Take pictures. Take pictures.
That's okay.
Go put it out.
Luds was so excited that there were chairs finally on the tables.
It's the Mavericks are outside.
The restaurant that's adjacent to our building. Our building is called the Coffee Roasters Building. We're on the top floor here in our studios downtown, right across the street from the House of Blues on North Lamar Street. And right adjacent to us is a Hooters. the Dallas Hooters, that has not been open the entire time we've done a show because of a fire.
Yeah.
And there's been construction constantly as they try to get this thing going. And Luds has been really excited about having that restaurant back available right next to us.
It was
and
getting there.
It is on fire again. The irony is as
bad.
thick as you can cut it with a knife.
And it wasn't even them that were smoking us out this weekend either. That was Dick's Last Resort.
That's right. Yes, with their fan situation going on. But
listen to that.
We lost Sean. Sean is muted. Okay, Sean, say it again. We couldn't hear a word.
I've never stepped foot in that studio, but I had no idea that was an actual door behind you. So that door opened, and that was like, that to me was like, I was like, that's a door that opens. That was,
Hold on, he's got to get to his microphone.
Oh, get to your microphone.
Okay, so our new intrepid reporter, Craig Ludwig,
on the scene.
On the scene, what can you tell us about the news of the day?
This is an insurance scam, I think. Well, it's a dumpster fire.
Like literally?
It's just like our show. It's exactly like the show.
So it's not the building.
No, it's a dumpster on fire.
Are you feeling better now?
I'm feeling a little bit more. We'll get her done, kind of thing.
Not as in we're starting
it's
over.
on the outside of the building.
Okay.
So
see how
all the chairs are still lined up on top of the stools. Nothing's burning inside. We're good.
John is going to go.
I was going to do that for you, by the way. Hey, you got a better view from Ben's office.
So there goes John. He's walking out through the main part of our lounge studio.
Look at our background over here. See all that smoke and the trees in the background?
Look at the neck on that guy.
Wait, this is great. I'm now learning what the office looks like. I have no idea
Sean's
this
tour
is
of the
what it
office.
is to
Look at the neck on John. He could see over some buildings.
Oh,
that's for
be
sure.
careful. Luds is about to push buttons, and that's going to be a problem.
Oh no.
Okay, so here we go,
no.
Luds.
Everybody's out there. Come get a pay for
And now he's got to angle it down.
There we go.
So that's the roof of the building.
Oh, no,
Oh, I see it in the
I see.
back.
Oh, it's on the other
Luds-
side.
Black smoke too.
That would be a fire.
Luds is just pushing buttons. We've got a Sam Steele, Steve Spot combo here.
He just took John off of there, and there goes.
This is only going to go poorly. Luds is currently using all of our drops.
He's hitting buttons.
Ben, get him out of there.
John,
Hold on.
he's hitting buttons. The moose.
Look at Sam's riding the
He's
moose.
stacking it on one on another. The sleeper read is getting a bonus
Got a
read
bunch
here.
of different ads popping up. Also join Sleeper today.
Oh my goodness! If
Looks
there
like
wasn't
Sam and
chaos.
Mikko are rooming together.
unbelievable.
Sorry about Hooters.
What
Yeah,
is
I know.
this? What is this
He's
today?
here to console me.
Luds, have you volunteered to put the fire out?
I can't say that word. Let's just move
Fire?
on. Get the show
Okay.
rolling.
Okay, so let's.
Anyway, Stars prospects.
No,
that what
we're
we're
actually
talking
gonna. No, we actually have to do the time for our Shady Rays. The future is bright. Now we all know that Mikko Rantanen has been traded to Dallas and signed an 8-year contract extension. He will be the Dallas Stars superstar player for the better part of the next decade, giving them a lot of things to be excited about. These are the rose-colored glasses, overly optimistic takes, not the dumpsters on fire. Oh, he got a
nice.
condolence
That's
beer.
nice.
What a nice boss. So the Stars are very much in great hands with Mikko Rantanen at the helm of the offense, along with all the other players they have signed up. And, of course, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And speaking of Mikko Rantanen, Sean, you actually brought this to our attention because as we did a big part of our show yesterday, Mikko was not happy with the narrative out of Carolina, and he wanted to set the record straight about his time there when he got there and when he informed them that he wanted to go somewhere else. Well, GM Eric Tulsky of the Hurricanes responded to Mikko Rantanen's public comments yesterday, and he said this.
It's not like the player walked in on day one and said, I'm not signing here, here's my 4 teams. He did give it time, and that was something we heard from him a week before the deadline, not on day one. Rod's a little prone to exaggeration. It's sort of a running joke in our market that, when when you ask Rod about an injury, if he's like, yeah, look, it's horrible. He's going to be out long term. Like, I don't know what we're going to do. That means the player's out until at least Thursday, maybe Friday. Look, Rod cares passionately about this team. It stings him that a player didn't want to be here. And it's really the first time we've dealt with it in that kind of situation. He was sticking up for his team. He was trying to get across very clearly the message that everyone else who came in wanted to be here. Whatever was going on with this guy, he was the exception, not the norm. Rod cares a lot about this team, and he wanted everyone to understand that when one player decides to move on, that's not anything about our organization or our culture. That's just one person's own personal decisions on what's best for him and his family.
Like Popeye consuming a can of spinach, Luds has his beer, and I have a feeling you have a few thoughts about that.
You know what perturbs me? I can?
Yes, you can't say the short the first four letters.
Okay. Here's the problem I have. The first part. Well, I love the part about Rod exaggerates a little bit. Like, talk about throwing people under the bus. But can you not at least call him by name? He said he, player, and guy. You don't even have enough respect to call him Mikko Rantanen or Mikko. You can't even refer to him by name. And I said the other day that he's trying to save face, and I know Sean didn't agree with that. I've heard two other people this morning say the exact same thing. He's trying to save face. He's trying to dig himself out of a hole, mainly because he didn't have anything done prior to this. I get it, and we've been over all this stuff. I just don't like it when you can't recognize the player for being a human being and calling him a player and a guy and he. That's the only part I have. And then you take your head coach and say, oh, he exaggerates sometimes.
Well, remember,
he gets a little bit carried away. Like, nothing is about him.
Well, remember Rod's comments that we heard yesterday, which was kind of carving his front office and GM for the deal with Gensel last year and Rantanen this year.
The Stars single-handedly ruined Carolina's playoff.
Carolina's going back and forth from front office to coach, and they're sharing it in public, which is what we're here for.
We love it.
And don't you think that Mikko just was like, can we just get this done with and let's just move on? I'm here. And
we're not asking him anymore about it. That's for sure.
I'm glad.
If there's one organization that can let this go away, it's our side of it.
I think after his agent spoke, Andy Scott, and Mikko did his press conference yesterday, they're probably smiling a bit today because Carolina had to confirm. I mean, they didn't have to, but they were honest and said, he's right. He came in with an open mind. So I don't know if Rantanen is rolling his eyes. I think he's probably going sort of a satisfied, yep, see, I told you I was telling you the truth.
Yeah, I was honest. Sean. That's Sean X.
He doesn't. Eric Tulsky doesn't have to go and corroborate Mikko Rantanen's story. I know we can get, if you want to get into the player name and all of that stuff, you can talk about that. That's fine if you want to. But to me, I take this the opposite way. I actually gained respect for Eric Tulsky from this conversation because he doesn't have to go and corroborate Mikko Rantanen's story. He can let it die and he can let it be this battle. Instead, he went and stood by the truth on what happened. And so I took an opposite view on this. This is not Eric Tulsky trying to cover his butt or anything like that. This is more so of, it's a fact-based conversation. His fact-based view on it is, hey, what is out there and came from Rod Brindamore wasn't true. Mikko Rantanen said this yesterday. I'm on doing a media appearance right now. I'm going to tell the truth. And so I looked at it that way. If you also want to talk about saying his name and player and stuff like that, I've talked to Eric Tulsky multiple times, and this is the way Eric Tulsky talks. Whether you like that or not, that is the way he talks. He has a little bit of a softer voice. He doesn't have a booming former I played in the NHL voice, and that's okay. So I have a different view on this. I can understand where if you want to pick through language and everything like that, and there is a larger question of the Rod Brindamore, Eric Tulsky dynamic of them both effectively saying something that was a little bit at each other. But I don't think this is I think he's asked a question honestly on a podcast and he answered it. And I want to be clear about something too. One thing to give the Carolina Hurricanes credit, and I want to give Mike Sondheim, their PR guy, credit on this. They are one of the easiest PR staffs in the league to work with. I did a story on Esa Lindell and Tuvo Teravainen helping buy and save Jokert for D Magazine about 6 months ago or a year ago, or whatever it was. And They got Tuva Teravainen for me on the phone right away. Moore's PR staff should be like the Carolina Hurricanes PR staff. So they just made the biggest trade in the league, and they are not going out and requesting spots on shows. Jeff, it's not that they've gotten lots of requests, and they just said yes to these requests. So I think there's a bit of this, like, is there a spin by Carolina? Yes, of course there's spin. You're trying to make things look good for your team. This is a business and it's marketing. But at the same time, it's also a PR staff getting tons and tons of requests and them saying, okay, yeah, we'll keep doing it. It's great for their team. So to me, I don't take as critical of a view on this as some others.
You can't be surprised that Rod is taking it personally, because he really seems to have a lot of pride in the fact that players want to stay in Carolina and play for him.
Well, from Rod's standpoint, I think if you're a coach like that, I don't think you make that comment. I just think it's probably something that it's one of those things that Ludwig does all the time. You see the words leaving your mouth and you're trying to grab them and put them back in again. And I just think that, I mean, I do that daily. But I'm just saying, I think he was, with the whole situation, and it just came out, and he's probably wishing that part didn't come out. But I just don't have respect for people that don't want to treat people like people, and the he and all this other kind of stuff. So anyway, I don't have to suck up to him and then want to do an interview with the guy at some point. I get all of that stuff, and do business with him either.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean? I don't have to do that. I just think they got, from the day that Dundon took the team over, if I could tell you some of the things that he tried to do, Tom Dundon. I don't know him at all.
Who's the owner of the Hurricanes?
Yeah. I mean, literally, and Sean, you probably know this.
Yeah, no, and we don't have to dance around. I mean, they had, like, Tom Dundon is, John Forsland was the broadcaster for 20-something years in Carolina, was at a spot where they literally he was their legacy part of the Carolina hockey community, and they come in and they go and say, like, well, we're going to change you to a contract that's based on ticket sales and part of revenue. Literally someone who's been there for 20 years. That's what Tom Dundon did. That's
with
why
the Whalers before they moved.
Yeah, and that's why John Forsland. Don Waddell, even though that whole story is not out there, and it's Don Waddell's story sometime to tell. The reason Don Waddell is in Columbus is because he was effectively doing a job, and this is the reality. In the NHL, there are 32 NHL teams, and it is now that way since Waddell left. But before that, there was 31 NHL teams had the NHL president and GM are two different people. Brad Alberts and Jim Nill do two different jobs, right? In Carolina, they had the same person doing both jobs for effectively the same pay. That is a reality. Let's call that what it was. So there is 100% truth to things about Carolina and how they run things money-wise. I've spoken to Tom Dundon on the phone before. There's times he has told me that he wishes he could turn the jersey into a NASCAR jersey so they could do that for ad sales. There are a lot of things there. At one point, Carolina lost a goalie coach because of the amount of money. There's a reason Carolina has struggled to have an AHL affiliate with the Chicago Wolves, who also are their own ball of wax. We can get into that another day. But the Carolina Hurricanes and the Chicago Wolves, two very rich men with lots of money, haggling over AHL affiliate fees. Why are the Carolina Hurricanes not affiliated with the AHL team in Charlotte? Happens to be in their home state. Well, it comes down to money and everything like that. So there's a Tom Dundon thing, and I want to separate this out very clearly. There's a Tom Dundon thing. He runs his business one way, and you can disagree or agree with it, and a lot of people would disagree with it. There's also, I think, an Eric Tulsky thing, and I believe Eric Tulsky is a good person. I do believe Eric Tulsky treats people well. I've spoken to people who have dealt with him, and I think there are two different things here. And how you separate that and work all of that out, it's fine. And you talk about sucking up, like, I'll call it what it is. It is an organization that has an owner that looks bottom line first and is willing to cut corners and cut spending on various elements that other teams would not do. And so that's the separation of that. And, like, I know it's easy to apply meaning to, like, oh my God, Eric Tulsky's saying the player and him. That's how that guy talks. That is how that is how he talks. And I've heard Jim Nill use the player. The other thing about a lot of GMs is, if you're talking about a player on another team, most GMs will not say the player's name on another team. Very rare. Like, it is a common GM thing. If Steve Yzerman is talking about a player, and it's like, I've dealt with Steve Yzerman in Detroit. If Steve Yzerman is talking about a player on another team, he's going to say the player. Jim Nill is talking about Logan Stankoven moving is a little bit different. But there's times where Jim has used the player and things like that as well. So I think there's some nuance that we need to apply here on. I hate to use this phrasing, but who the actual bad guy is and where things go. So I know I took us over the break. Owen, I'm sorry. Go.
He was fired up. You got him going, Luds.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. But I'm really not really too concerned about Sean's feelings because I don't like the guy.
That's all right. You guys,
not you, Sean. I'm talking about him. And by the way, I just want there's somebody that you forgot in there. You were talking about Jim Nill and Brad Alberts. You got to make sure you throw in there what they do separate things. You got to make sure you throw in there that Daryl Ray oversees all of that.
He does have Daryl does make a little bit more dinero than any other broadcaster.
Yeah.
My understanding. So that is
Razor is the guy that runs that organization. Just ask him.
All right. Up next, let's talk about the playoffs race in both conferences here on DLLS.
Oh, that's me. I'm still shaking from talking to Sean.
Wound up.
This has been a rugged road today, let me tell you. Rugged Road is dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. Their products are designed with the highest quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring they perform in the toughest conditions. Whether you're on land or what? Holy boy. Whether you're on land or water, Rugged Road gear is built to accompany you on every adventure. My thumb is just flying. It's going too fast.
Pulsating.
The coolers are built to last, ensuring they can keep up with any adventure. Coolers are guaranteed to keep their contents cool for up to 7 days. I'm taking a deep breath. Perfect for a variety of outdoor activities, from fishing and tubing to camping and tailgating. These coolers are designed to meet the needs of every outdoor or sports enthusiast. Gear up for your next adventure with Rugged Road coolers, reliable, durable, and built to be used. I'm trying to hit the number right on. Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head over to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and use code DLLS for 10% off. Bang!
Man, he's fired up. First, Hooters was on fire. Now this spot. But it's time for us to talk about Game Time. Game Time is the perfect way to get tickets to your favorite event, whether it's sporting events, concerts, stand-up comedy, the theater. You need Game Time. Download the Game Time app. It has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. Plus, you can use Game Time even in a venue that you don't know well, because it has virtual seat views, so you'll know exactly what you're going to be getting when you select them. You use all-in pricing, so you know exactly what you're paying before you check out. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Should I do a quick 30-second practice update since there were a couple notable things today?
Real quick, and then we'll go. Yeah,
I just want to do a
go
quick.
right ahead. Yeah.
For anyone who didn't see, Lian Bichsel did not skate today. He woke up feeling sick and was not at the rink. At the time, they did not know whether he would travel with them today to Winnipeg. I'm trying to figure out if he did, because they are currently on that flight. So he is an unknown for this weekend as of now. And then Rope Hintz obviously did not skate again with the team today, but he was planning to skate today and tomorrow, and then they will decide whether he is going to meet the team in Denver or not for Sunday. Finally, Wyatt Johnson took a puck to the face today that I didn't even see, but he did have 2 pieces of gauze shoved up the nostrils there in the locker room, so he was all smiles and seemed fine. Someone asked me that on Twitter. I didn't even see it, so I just wanted to confirm.
Boy, this is the year of the facial injury for the Dallas Stars. It's a good thing Jason Dickinson isn't still on the team, or we'd have him on high alert with the medical authorities, because that was a long-standing joke, unfortunately, that he kept getting pucks or high sticks.
Now it's a full roster.
The whole team. Luds, there's no way Rope Hintz is playing Sunday against the Avalanche in your mind, is there?
Well, no. I mean, I don't know that. I just don't know. These guys are not going to rush somebody back into the lineup because of this particular opponent and where they're at, and risking any kind of a setback. But I guarantee you that if he's in the lineup, there's no risk of a setback.
Right.
So, but we'll see. And I'm sure Roop probably has a lot to say in that. And to be honest with you, I hope he says I want to play.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen some of the injuries. I would love to see him say, no, I'm good to go.
I hope he is too. Guys. But I just, if he has to fly out to meet the team, usually that doesn't happen.
Right.
Especially for a 2-game trip, and they have a homestand coming up after that. My hunch is that we won't see him until Tuesday. Was
the
it
altitude
the Ducks
thing, even the flying thing, getting on a plane, and but again, maybe he's past all that. Who knows?
All right, let's talk about playoffs for a minute. Let's start with our Western Conference, and then we'll look at the East as well, because I was going to do this yesterday, and then we had too much good stuff to talk about. But look at the standings, and as you can see, John put together this beautiful graphic, and he really should be applauded because it looks fantastic. And look at the in the hunt and the wild card. Thank you, Sean. Because there are, with the result last night, which was, of course, the Canucks beating the Flames in a shootout, they are tied. 71 points. Now, the Flames have the tiebreaker from games played, but they're essentially level as we approach the final 17, 16 games of the regular season or so. And look at the two in the hunt behind them, St. Louis and Utah, only 2 points behind. So you essentially have 4 teams fighting for one spot. Now, Luds, we were thinking that maybe Minnesota was going to do this free fall thing, but they got a big win the other night against, was it Colorado, in a shootout. And
ugly game.
Yeah, it was. Not a high-scoring one. But I think Minnesota is going to be able to hang in there. So it looks like a 4-way fight. Do you have any feeling on where this is going to go with, we're in the teens of games played left?
Frankly,
yeah,
I could care less.
Okay.
Yeah, and as a player, you don't care either. You don't care. I mean, you're going to have to.
That's a Sean answer, by the way.
Well, good. But we finally have something in common. I don't. I honestly could care less. I mean, I think as a player, you're looking at it and going, well, if we could play Minnesota, yeah, maybe that'd be better for us. But we're going to have to beat Colorado maybe anyway.
Okay, go back to the graphic because I don't think you understood the question.
The question is, I could give.
This is not about who the Stars would play. Huh? This is not about who the Stars will play in the first round. We already talked about playoff format and seeding and stuff. This is simply looking at the playoff race because there are a bunch of teams that are all within striking distance of that last wild card spot.
Okay, let me change my answer then.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care. I mean, are you asking me who's going to get in?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Do you think that whoever gets in is just going to get waltzed over by the number one seed?
I don't think that's the way it is. I don't think that's the way it is at all. I think that the team that thinks that way that's playing them may have a problem. I think between Vancouver and Calgary, it's 6 1/2 dozen.
Right.
That's what I think. So, and the only way that Vancouver, I mean, if you watched the game last night, I'm sure you guys didn't, but when Quinn Hughes plays,
rude.
I mean, the guy is unbelievable.
He is.
I mean, he is their hope to lead that team. But it doesn't really matter to me.
Sean, same question.
Please give a better answer than I did, Sean.
I think Calgary gets in. No, it's just a hunch. I'm not giving a full scientific answer for one way or the other. I think Calgary, Vancouver's, I'm just worried about consistency there. And obviously they have the best player. They have Hughes, as Lud said, Hughes is between those two teams, Hughes is the best player. That Vancouver team seems to have a bit of that what can go wrong, will go wrong feel about it at some point. And so for that reason, I get Calgary. Now, it would be fun. I mean, Utah gets in. That would be fun. It would definitely be fun if Utah is able to climb up there. But I'll go with Calgary for now. Plus,
and they probably have the better goaltender, right? I mean, the more consistent guy in the pipes. Yeah.
Yes.
I find myself rooting for Utah to get in. I think it would be a great story with the team.
I think that's because you picked them in the beginning of the year that you said they'd be.
Well, there is that self-serving prophecy.
I think I did too.
No, I actually think there's a story behind that because they were showing some promise in Arizona last year, and they didn't. You want to talk about standing up for the players? They had nothing to do with the arena issues that happened in Phoenix and the surrounding metro area there. And so then their ownership problems, again, not something the players could do. They got moved. They went to Salt Lake City, and it seems like they're in a much more stable ownership base. They're working on updating the arena to make it more hockey friendly. And I think it would be great for that market if they got in. I still think that they should figure out a way to call themselves the Yeti, but I don't have my high hopes that they're going to do that. So let's look at no, I didn't ask Sam yet. Sam, what do you
Calgary.
think? You think?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the East then.
This is more exciting.
Luds, I know you always have a vested interest with the Montreal Canadiens. I was really surprised to see them this close because I had sort of ruled them out in my head. And then when I looked, not even last night, but 2 nights ago, I saw them close and went, wow, Montreal could actually make the playoffs. Obviously, the Columbus storyline is a huge one. If they get in, that would be, with everything that's gone on with Johnny Gaudreau passing away and his brother, and it would be quite a story. But look at the Canadiens hanging right around.
To be honest with you, I mean, different than my last be honest with you answer is I honestly would like to see Ottawa and Columbus get there, but you know who I'm pulling for?
Who?
Patrick Kane.
Really?
I
Did
am.
he ever
I'm
have
pulling,
a game
I'm
last
pulling,
night?
He did.
Oh.
He did. 5 points in the
Wow.
game. I'm pulling for him in Detroit to get in. I think when Detroit is in the playoffs, it's always a good thing. Being that the Red Wings are, but I think that it's a great story in Columbus. For obviously it is. And I would have no problem being able to watch Brady Tkachuk go through the first round of the playoffs.
Please.
Right?
With everything that's happened with the Rangers this year, if the Rangers don't make it, that's going to be a problem for them, isn't it? Because they're already dealing with a lot of drama all year long.
The best gift for fans if the Rangers do not make the playoffs this year.
For all fans or for you?
No, it's for everyone. I think they're boring. I think they don't deserve it, and there's so many other teams that would be fun to watch that aren't the New York Rangers.
Sean,
Are you saying the Devils?
No.
Sean, you're covering the Red Wings all the time. Is there still legitimate hope in Detroit that they can get over the hump? They just had a huge win over a really bad Buffalo team.
Yeah, the problem for me with Detroit is there's twofold here. It's the amount of teams that you got to worry about. It's the goaltending has not been great, even with Peter Mrazek coming in from Chicago. And then the big one is Detroit has the toughest remaining schedule in the NHL. Detroit, of their final 17 games, they play Vegas twice, they play Florida twice, they play Carolina twice, they play Dallas, they play Washington, they play Toronto. They play the hardest remaining schedule of anyone in the league. Ottawa, to me, is effectively in because they've got that cushion already, but they have the 25th hardest schedule for remaining in the league. Ottawa gets Chicago, Buffalo twice. They get Philly. They get the Penguins. Ottawa has a much easier schedule. So for me, it's Detroit is. I think they're going to miss because of the schedule and this 6-game losing streak that they just ended last night. I think that was the type of thing you can't afford when you're in this tight of a race. The other team I think it's Columbus. Columbus's schedule is a little bit more difficult. They still have 2 against Washington. They do have a Vegas and Florida still, but they also get to play Buffalo again. They get Nashville late in the year. They get 2 against the Islanders still. So I'm gonna the 2 in the spot right now. I think having that cushion, having the schedules there, I think that's the difference.
We'll talk. I have one more thing to add next here on DLLS. Let's talk about being a diehard. Sean's showing he's a pro at it now. Use that QR code. Scan it. That'll take you right to signing up to be a diehard. AllDLS.com. And right now, we have had a very well-received introductory offer. A lot of diehards that weren't necessarily ready to pull the trigger have done so in the last couple of days with this NFL free agency frenzy for a limited time only. $36 instead of $79.99, and you get all the access to our top level of support here at DLLS, which is you get your free t-shirt, you get, there's Sean with all the laser lights, of course. You get access to the writing. We just talked about Sean's article that he posted this morning. Sam's been writing up to beat the band. If you want to read them, you have to be a diehard to get to the diehard level of access. We have a damn Discord channel segment with Luds coming up next. Only diehards can get to the Discord. And let me tell you, the Stars diehards are very active in our Discord channel. It is constant, from anything to which peanut butter you prefer to, I got asked today when I was trying to pull the questions from yesterday for Luds today about which Doritos flavor I preferred and whether it was right or wrong and all sorts of fun stuff. So, and then a lot of hockey stuff in there. Sean was dipping in and answering questions.
Have you heard about the new Pringles?
No. Tell me.
They're coming out with barbecued chicken flavored Pringles.
Would try.
Chicken chips,
and that's
Nova
coming
Scotia
from Andrew. He texted me last night, but
that sounds like a Nova Scotia thing.
Sounds like we need a sponsorship.
Well, John, take me off screen for a second. I gotta get a prop. I got a chip prop.
He's gonna get some chicken chips.
He's going off the screen while I tell you about being a
Burned
diehard.
Oils. Burned Oils brought this up last night.
Okay.
And those are the two, or a couple brands. There's a Miller Lite one.
Come on. Well, wait a minute. You led with barbecue chicken when they have Miller Lite?
Beer brat.
Yeah, beer and brats.
A Miller Lite themed Pringles. That I mean,
I didn't want to bring that up while I'm consuming this.
fair enough.
fair,
You're respecting the brands.
Smart. Become a diehard.
You guys want to see Sean's empty room?
Yes.
Yes, let's. Oh, there's kerfuffle.
I told
without
him I
Sean.
took him off the screen, but now he's gonna walk in and
His
be
Harry
on the
Potter
screen.
scarf hanging
Well,
from
let's
the door.
let's also talk about the St. Patrick's Day shirts real quick because Luds was wearing one of them yesterday. This is the All-City drop. And they're great looking. Plus, they're also
There he
victory
is.
green. So you can wear them past. It doesn't have to be on St. Patrick's Day alone because you can wear them to support the Dallas Stars.
So,
Turkey dinner.
There you go.
Oh, that
Turkey
has to be
dinner
from
chips.
Canada.
Yeah, this is chip selection in Canada is way more diverse.
It's so fun.
Do you like
Yeah, you
the
got-
Canadian Lay's, the ketchup chips? You ever had those?
Oh, I can't stand
Really?
the ketchup ones.
But-
And then what's the other one? Something oil.
All dressed.
No.
Right? Isn't
All
that the
dressed.
one they do?
All dressed is like the chicken chips, right? Isn't that the same?
No, ketchup is awful.
Are you not a ketchup guy?
If
Oh,
pickle-
salt and vinegar.
Oh, you
That's
don't-
the other
well,
one.
that's just
Ugh.
regular.
Those are just
that's
regular.
awful.
But you
But
don't like. You're
I
not
I
a.
mean,
big-
that's regular.
That's here too.
We have salt and vinegar in the United
Oh
States.
yeah, I'm just saying in general.
But
Yeah,
you're
I
not
don't
a
like
big
those.
fan of the vinegar, are
I
you?
don't like
No.
those.
Yeah. So, become a all DLS diehard today. One last thing before we get to the damn Discord, and we're gonna have fun with this. Sam, you probably saw this news, but I don't know if the other guys did or not. Speaking about the New Jersey Devils,
Oh.
Dougie Hamilton
Yeah.
is out for the rest of the regular season, and
Okay.
First
Did they
round
list
of the
what it is?
playoffs.
Did they list what
Did
it
not.
is?
They did not.
they said it's a
Guarantee
lower.
it's-
Hold on.
It's his knee.
Lower body injury suffered
Yeah,
when he
give
got
down.
tangled up with Mason Marchment on March 4th.
Guarantee it's a
That was here.
MCL somewhere in there.
It was late in the first period. He did not return. And he said he could return for the Eastern Conference second round if healthy and New Jersey advances that far. That means
They might miss the playoffs.
there's a good chance. Well, I don't think they're going to. Look, John, can you show the Eastern Conference standings one more time,
I didn't
please?
see what they.
New Jersey
They're
is
not
at
missing.
76.
They're
Oh,
not
I
missing.
thought it was. I
They're-
thought they were like
they're-
72 or
I
73.
don't
No,
think they're
they're
going to
not.
crater,
They're not
but
missing.
they already don't have Jack Hughes.
Come
Yeah.
on, Sam, be better.
And now Dougie Hamilton. Luds, it's a good thing they got Jacob Markstrom back.
Good thing they got a little bit of a bumper there because I think they would if they were a few points down from where they
I
are.
still think New Jersey is a good enough team to hold off the chasing pack below it. But a couple more points in Ottawa, Ottawa can't sneak into New Jersey because they're not in the same division. But
Well, and that Carolina, even though they don't have that guy, they'll probably beat them if they play them in the first round.
that Carolina
Yeah.
New Jersey series,
Even without that guy.
but they're going to be missing that. All right, are you guys
And
ready
did you,
for?
wait, real quick. I have a quick New Jersey note.
Go for it.
Sam, there's another New Jersey. I got an email from New Devils PR today about something. The Devils have introduced a new fan program called Bot Stevens. It's a Bot Stevens. It is an AI program where if you want to ask about New Jersey Devils history and everything like that, you can ask Bot Stevens about it. So
Oh boy.
I figured you would like that, Sam.
Oh boy. Does he yell
I
at
got
you
that
and try to injure you as well?
No, not according to the press release I got about it. So,
Well, yesterday we should really have an intro for this segment. It's something I'll have to work on. The damn Discord channel with Luds. Are you ready now?
Been looking forward
We
to
haven't done this for a little
weeks.
while, but I put out a call for questions. I only did it yesterday. I didn't do it earlier in the week. And there's Sean eating his turkey dinner chips. And in the microphone, no less, which sounds really distracting, but that's okay. So I have lots of good questions. So we'll get to about 7 or 8 of them if we have time. Luds, we'll start with Schmitty. Not counting Miro, which current Stars defenseman would you like to be paired with if you were playing today with the skills you had in your prime?
Oh, the skills that I didn't have in my prime, I would say Thomas Harley. I mean, if there was anybody that, because I know, well, any of them, are you kidding me? I play with Elaine. No, I think Thomas would be the guy. He'd be the closest guy when I look at Zuby, Chelly. I mean, give you the puck and then you go do your thing, and then if something breaks down, I'll be back here.
Now, you first said Essa, but before switching
Well,
to
because
Harley.
Essa to me is like, I just think he's a great all-around defenseman. I know he doesn't get a ton of credit for, points and things like that, and I don't think he really cares about that kind of stuff. But he's the guy that he's the guy that's always at home. He takes care of things there, and I just love his demeanor during games. I love the way that he can kind of store up his energy and just play within himself and be able to hang out there for 2 minutes on a PK. And if you want him on the power play, okay, I'll go out there and I'll just shoot the puck at the net, and kind of similar to what we're seeing right now. So Yeah, I think anybody would love to play with Essa, but for me personally, it would probably be Thomas Harley.
You and Essa would eat shots.
Yeah. I
crazy.
think
He never
we
gets
would.
to the net.
No.
It's the goalie before the goalie.
Yeah.
If you played with Thomas or with Essa, who would play the right side?
It would definitely be somebody, but not me.
One of them.
They'd have to play both sides if I was on the right side. Yeah. No, it would be somebody else. They tried that with me in Montreal. And Gainey was there at the time, right? It was a teammate of mine at the time.
He was still playing.
Yeah, he was a teammate at the time, and I think Bo learned because there was Daryl Sador would have to go over and play the right side once in a while with us, and I think it was brought up one time, and I'm sure it got sent down from above. There ain't no chance Ludwig's going over there because not my thing.
All right, let's go to Harry. He has a fun one. How many Sam Nestlers could you take in a fight? I guess the question is how many duplicates of
How
Sam?
many of them would have to stand on top of each other's shoulders?
Yes. How many Sam Nestlers do you think would make it a fair fight?
To be honest with you, I think he may surprise you because you look like a wrestler. Did you ever wrestle?
From jiu-jitsu and
Okay, yeah.
wrestling.
See,
No.
that's the sneaky stuff, right? That's the sneaky stuff. I mean, he
No,
he
you're
could probably
on skates.
one kick me. I'd be looking.
Oh, it's on skates.
Oh yeah.
This is on the
on
ice.
skates?
That
put 'em on the
changes
ice.
my
Oh.
answer.
Is it
my
is it
answer completely?
No, it could be on dry land too. I just made up skates.
Are multiple Sams allowed to attack at once, or is this like Luds just like sending Sam after Sam to be
No.
demolished?
I think that Sam's could have a coordinated like
Yeah, it's like a
Velociraptor
Ninja
style
Turtles
attack.
type of thing. You send
Yes.
the
What
whole
would be
Yeah.
cool is
True.
that there's some smart guy listening to this. Well, maybe not. I don't know, but they could create a video game. You know the ones where the you can just knock them out. No, I don't know.
You're talking about like the old punching.
I was thinking more like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I mean,
just make them all Sam Nestlers.
Yeah, make them and just see how many. In same
So
thing.
how many
He'd be kicking
Samandos?
me in the nuts, and then I'd be trying to punch him in the head.
How many Samandos would it take to actually bring you down? Do you think?
How many Samandos did it take to screw in a light bulb?
Well, that too.
Okay.
similar answer.
I'm serious. I mean, he could.
You think
leg
he's
sweep
scrappy?
me. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. No, I would say at least two of them.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd
I think
go with
I
two.
think I'm at 6 or 7.
No, I don't. That's the first mistake of getting into a little, especially off ice.
Yeah.
You get in bar fights, and you got to be careful who because especially when you don't know who they are,
Agree.
you don't know what you're getting into sometimes.
I've heard that the rule is look at their ears because if they're all cauliflower, leave them alone.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to see at
Or if they
2
take their
a.m.
tooth out.
outside in the parking lot.
Or if they take their tooth out.
Yeah, that's what they do in Shoresy. They go to fight and they pop a tooth out.
Our
Make sure
Shoresy,
they
our resident
Walk away.
Shoresy
I figured
Three
I'd get
Sams.
there.
Sean's going with 3
Three Sams.
Sams. That's probably more
Three
reasonable.
Sams.
Harry
Three
said
Sams,
you could
three
pick
Sams.
up one Sam and use
Hit
him
him
to
with
beat
the other one.
Sam.
Yeah.
So you could use Sam as a weapon against the
swing
other
him
Sam.
around.
Oh my-
He's like he'll
So,
be my
okay.
little personal
If
nunchuck.
you can do that and use Sam as a weapon, then I'm sticking with my 6 to 7 Sams.
I just,
Just
okay,
swing around.
I just put it together that Luds and Sam are the Rick and Morty of the DLLS universe right now, and there are multiple Luds and Sams all over the place, just
Different
like in Rick and Morty.
timelines.
I cannot unsee this now, and this is gonna bother me for a long time.
Sean,
So-
if I could ever get Sam to meet me for a beer, he always wants to do it, but then he's like, "Oh no, that'd be too late," or "No, we can't do that. I got this going on." It would actually be. We could actually find out how you and I could do in a little.
That's why I don't meet you.
I know, but
So great question from Harry. We could go on for a while, but let's go to the next one. By the way, there's Allie, and I'm jumping in on this, Allie. I completely agree with you. Ketchup chips are elite. I know Luds doesn't like them, but I very much enjoy them. And you can't find them
Is
around
Allie
here.
Canadian?
Oh, yeah. She's
Oh,
from
well, there
Edmonton.
you go.
Yeah.
You guys all have just a poor sense of taste.
I got it. All right, let's go to the next one. And that one is from Jordan, a.k.a. Jay Krill. What has been the biggest change in the game? Actually, you know what? I'm going to call a quick timeout because I want to make sure Luds is uninterrupted for this answer. Let's thanks everyone who joined on our television platforms. Make sure to like and subscribe here on the pod and check out alldlls.com. Okay, back to the show, back to the question. Now, Luds, you can do this without being interrupted. What has been the biggest change in the game since you were playing? Thank y'all for always doing these. I enjoy the Q&As so much.
Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is the center line. You know, when the center line was taken out, the game got to be so fast, and then ultimately.
Can you explain that for people that don't know what you mean by that?
Well, you could a
With the
two-line
two-line
pass. I
pass.
mean, if we were trying to make a pass out of our own zone, for instance, and somebody's waiting up by the blue line, or the flipper that we see all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That is so effective. it would have to be on your side of the center ice. And so that's gone. It has sped up the game, and it should. I mean, it opens up the game, but they will also say that there was a period of time there where it led to a few more hits, the open ice hits and things like that. So, but anyway, I would say that would be the thing. But then you would think that I would like it from one side of it because I can just fire it up the wall, which is what I did anyways. And it wouldn't be icing.
Would you have done the high flip more?
No, I do. Let me tell you, I do it in practice with our guys. Like I've been doing it all year.
Yeah.
I suck at that thing so bad, and I'm talking with no pressure. You know what I mean? Like it
goes like 4 feet.
Yeah, you have to give credit to those guys. When you get it, you get it. Now it like over at Valley, places like that, it keeps hitting the clock.
Yeah,
so it's hard. So and we're taking out but the flipper wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to do it, but I think taking out the red line would be the biggest thing. And the rule, the other thing is obviously the rule changes, and I'm glad that they changed them a little bit because we were able to get away with a lot, and the hitting from behind, the head contact, all that kind of stuff was all fair game.
That to me is the big one. Although I would like to see your era play without the 2-line pass or the obstruction, clutching, and grabbing, because I keep thinking about McDonald. Think about the speed.
The only time we would see a guy like Brett Hull is in between periods sitting in the room.
Yeah.
Like he'd never come back into our end.
Just think about what Zubov could have done, long passes to Madonna in stride with no 2-line pass and no obstruction.
But I will say this, and Sean, you can talk about this too, in every era and where there's changes, where there's not changes, these coaches and everybody are so good at adapting and finding out how it, and it's a copycat league. So as soon as you're doing it, then the next team's doing, but then there's somebody that's finding a way to change it or how to alter it or shut it down.
Yeah, I had a really good conversation with Todd McClellan today just about the evolution of the game, and he's someone who's coached.
He's a name dropper, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do my job.
Name dropping.
But like he's coached in the NHL since 2007, and it's like we were talking today about how the evolution of the net front, right? Where when he was coaching with the Red Wings as an assistant the first time, the net front guy was Thomas Holmstrom, just going to the front of the net and just taking 50 whacks with the cross check and just standing there. Now you have Logan Stankoven going to the front of the net for Carolina. The evolution of that has been fascinating to watch, where it's gone from big guy goes to the front of the net, takes a lot of whacks, to now it's a position and the net front of the power plays. Oh, we need someone with skill who can extend it out and make it wider and everything like that. And there's a guy who wore number 16, who we will not say his name, who definitely somehow figured out that evolution as he went along throughout all of it. So yeah, game evolves.
Let's go to T Farmer, who says, let's hear a Luds ranty about the lack of physicality on this team. It's been a talking point in the Discord, and we are a house divided on if you need this to win a cup or if skill is enough.
Well, I think we're going to find out. Listen, if you have a power play, Dallas has a power play. Now they've even got another weapon. His name is Mikko Rantanen, by the way. It's not just a guy. It's not a player. It's Mikko. So good callback.
Moose.
So what they have now is they have a weapon, and as an opponent, you have to be careful of taking penalties. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be hard on the good players and things like that, but it does take away from some teams that like to press. I mean, let's talk about Carolina, and they just happen to be the topic today. That team, they press, they push you, they finish their checks. I'm not saying they're the most physical team in the league, but it can become a problem if you can't hit back. And I mean, if you don't hit back, but it's not the style. But again, when you look at, and again, I go back to both Sam, you and Sean, like analytically, when you guys look at things, I mean, Dallas is a puck possession team. And so when you have the puck, the odds are you're going to be drawing more penalties than you're taking. And that's been the belief of Jim Nill and Pete DeBoer for a few years now. And they've had a ton of success at it. Have they crossed the mountain yet? But they are definitely tapping on the door, right?
Yeah.
You got to not lean back from your mic.
I keep forgetting.
He in here is doing what you do out in the lounge, which is separate from
check
the mic.
Out.
Well, that too.
I'm a big, I'm not going to go out because I've said it a ton of times and I've been in those Discord conversations, but I'm a big believer with what Lud said. There is a line, and I think that's what teams look to find. They look to find, do they need to be that team, or can they be further on the other side of it and find a way to do it? Would you agree, though, this season as it progressed has made the Stars, at least has made us less angry when they don't respond because they are making teams pay on the power play a lot more.
We can live with it more. Yeah, you can look at all the analytics and the and stats and things like that. And at the end of the day,
they finished their chicks.
What? They finished their chicks.
Finish their chicks.
And checks.
Well, I can't personally speak of that.
Yeah.
But I hope they do.
Finish his chicks.
Oh boy.
It's just a nonstop drop machine over
but
here.
you have to. It definitely comes into play when you're talking on the other as the coaches and the players on the other side are going. We can't take dumb penalties. You can't get frustrated. We can't send. We were talking about would you bring in a Pat Maroon? Would you bring in a Ryan Reeves in this team? On this team, I would. It doesn't mean he has to dress, but if you get into round 2 or 3, and I don't even know if that's a thing. If it's not a thing, that's okay, because then you're taking out a good high-end player more than likely out of the lineup if that happens. But would I like to see it more physical? Of course I would. But again, it's more. It isn't going to come up, especially now that I've got the green light to have a float in the parade. I don't care what they have. I just want them to get
You're
over
on board.
Stay on board.
Okay.
I'm on board. Whatever you guys want to do.
That's actually a perfect segue to our next question because Burned Oils, who always has a way of making it sound a little weird or creepy, just like our buddy Sam here.
Thank you.
Luds, I know our great captain is the best in the league and has what it takes to get us finally there. I think the only missing piece is you giving him your blessing. He needs it for the tough road ahead. It's not a question, just a comment.
Our blessing for what?
I guess to win the cup. That's how I read it.
Okay.
Give him your blessing.
You have my
Jamie
blessing.
Ben have their blessing?
You have my blessing. I'm not giving his blessing to go run around, or
no. I think to go win the Stanley Cup. I think.
Talking about Jamie?
Yeah.
Well, of course he's got my.
Just
blessing.
needs your
Of course
blessing.
he does. He wants a float. He's ready for the float, people.
I give you my
Do
blessing.
I have your blessing to give Katie?
Yeah. Well, that's another topic.
See,
we'll
you
talk
and
about
Burned
this
Oil
after.
both making it creepy. Let's
not go there.
Alistair Minton,
I don't even know.
Who's
I didn't
our
meet her at the elevator.
diehard from England.
Heyo.
How do you know what position you play? Do you try everything as a kid and a coach tells you where you fit best, or you just sort of know what feels most comfortable?
Good question. When you can't score goals, obviously you're not going to be a forward, and then you ultimately become a defensive defenseman, and you better know how to defend. You know what? I think that I don't know what the answer to that is, honestly, because ultimately your coaches kind of dictate, but there are the kids that they just are what they are. You can see them when you drop the puck.
Yep.
Does he like to do this? Does he like to do that? It's funny. I can talk about Marty Turco and Finley, his son. So Finley's come out with us a few times. And he skates with us in the alumni skates sometimes. And so anyway, but he always plays forward. Has he ever been there when you were there?
I don't remember.
Okay, but he always plays forward. He's dangling around. Well, anyway, he come out and Marty called and asked and asked if he'd come out and skate with us with our U18 team. And I said, yeah, sure. And I'm like, Finley, what are you doing there? He's a defenseman. I'm like, I didn't even know he was a defenseman.
He played forward.
Yeah, he played. I didn't even know he was but he played. He plays the game up the ice and skates around, likes to dangle and all that kind of stuff, which is part of what we have to deal with, when
sounds like Lane Hudson.
Yeah. Well, okay. We're
to a
ways
degree.
off.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Yeah. So, but again, the game is completely different. But I just think you naturally kind of gravitate to where you're supposed to be and what it is. And I think your coaches kind of say, well, let's try him up here. I can't believe how many players. Can anybody read that?
No, it was
checkerboard?
really, he should have used one of the many other
Go
larger
to
pens.
bounce.
Sean says, gotta bounce.
Yeah,
Love
Sean,
you all.
Before
Oh,
you
love you
leave,
all.
Wait, you got to let Sean get back in.
before
for the
you
next
leave,
4
Sean,
minutes.
Sean, I know you got to bounce. You have to see this next one, and then you can go.
Oh.
This is from
Okay.
SBALB, SBALB. On a scale of 1 to 10, how embarrassed are you that this exists? How embarrassed were you at the time it was taken? Credit J. Krill for the pick. And we have a
Look
bigger version of the
at
photo for you. The
that.
bad boys of Dallas hockey.
Hey, let me tell you, this was my idea. I'm the one that set it up.
Oh, it's even better.
So
All
one
right,
of the-
Sean, you can go now.
Yeah.
See you, Sean.
So there was
Yeah.
one of the guys that was part of a Harley dealership down in El Paso at the time, was the largest one around. He's the one that got the camera work and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm going to keep it so short. I thought we had this for the playoffs. So we brought it in, and that's when Jim Lights was there.
Yep.
And I said, Jim, we have these posters. And, well, anyways, he told me, I said, can we use the logo? No, Luds, you're not going to be able to use the logo. I'm like, really? And you guys will get half the money and all this other kind of stuff. So ultimately, no, can't use the logo. So then I got a call from him one day because he saw the poster. Luds? I said, yeah. He goes, I'll give you credit. because if you put that poster back up there again, John, I had the A kind of look like the stars.
Yeah.
So
Good
I
job.
kind of
You
put
used
that
the
in
font
there.
a little bit.
So anyway, after the first round, they sold out. I don't know. I don't remember the number. They sold out. So I went to him. I said, "Hey, I hear they sold out. Want some more?" "No, we don't want any more." I'm like, "Really?" So he wouldn't take any more again. And then I had about 24,000
Oh, my goodness.
posters left over. So I had the bright idea of saying, you know what I'll do is I'll get these guys to sign them, which they did, and then I'll mail them out to you guys. Well, that was a bad idea because I was going back and forth to the thing once a week. I was putting them in the tube things and putting them in my car. And so
you must have been on a first name basis with your post office.
yeah, well, it was a pain. So anyway, but yeah, it was just one of them
selling
dumb
for
ideas.
$50 on some of these.
What?
Yeah, look at this guy.
Yeah, it
Zoom in on
definitely came
buddy.
up at the bar. The
Yeah.
idea was born at a bar.
I bet it was. All right, we've got one more that wasn't part of the damn Discord. It was in the Discord. It's addressed to Sam, me, and to GM Ben. Hey, y'all, I had an idea and had my amazing artist of a wife whip this up for us. I give for y'all to use the Tomahawk City DLS badge. If y'all put it on a T-shirt, I wear an extra large.
Oh, I
Now
think
there's
that's a great
A
idea.
full-size
It's a great
photo
one.
that doesn't cut off the bottom of it. There's the logo that they made. Tomahawk City DLLS.
And this was over a golf thing, right? That was how this whole
That's
thing.
how that is. That video.
I know. So me and my
Tomahawk
kids
City.
are playing golf this Saturday, and so I wish I had that shirt
Oh,
right
that
now.
would've been
Wouldn't it
I
be
don't
great?
think they've even heard about this. Unless I don't think they watch this show.
Well, you know CJ does.
Well, yeah, because he'll get in,
'Cause
but I
he'll
don't
get in
know.
the
He
chat
doesn't
every now
usually
and
hang around things very long, so he probably hasn't heard all the drops and everything. So.
All right, that's a great Discord channel, but we do have a couple super chats we'll get to real quick here. First with Naven, a DeSmith 99. Who is the best fictional hockey player? Now, look,
Now, what is that?
ordinarily we would say
TV
you have to
shows,
get in the
books.
Discord to be part of the damn Discord channel. That part's ended. These are posts. This is like the after party here, real quick. Luds has got his beer still. Best fictional hockey
It's
player.
been gone for a while.
So if you think about movies,
Well, I'm going to say Shorzy.
really?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. See,
skill.
I don't know. I
I mean, best or your favorite?
I don't know.
Well-
Best is pretty wide open. Is it most talented, or
I don't
is it-
know. Well, why are you asking the questions if you don't know?
because it's not my question.
So when I first saw that fictional, does that mean like a cartoon character, or is that just a real person?
It just means it means not real. So it can be a real person in a movie, but not playing like I'm not playing Wayne Gretzky. I'm playing Dean Youngblood, Adam Banks.
Can I pick the Hanson brothers?
Sure.
I would say the Hanson brothers, and probably before Shorzy. Now that I think about it, if I could pick three of them, it would be the brothers because they really are one. The three of them.
I'm gonna go with Shorzy's my favorite, but for best, I'm gonna go with Gordon Bombay.
Yeah, he was good.
He was a step away from making
Adam
the NHL.
Banks, man.
Yeah, but he was
Who are
he
you
was a
guys
step
talking
away
Talking
from the
about Mighty
NHL.
Ducks. Remember Emilio Estevez?
Coach. He was a step away from the NHL before his knee injury dragged him into the Olympics.
Yeah,
the Junior
that
Goodwill
goon
Games.
took out his knee. Yeah.
What do you got? Banks?
I mean, yeah, I can't think of his name, but the kid that was in Mystery Alaska, the one that they ended up signing to go play with the New York Rangers, that kid could fly down the rivers. He was a pretty good player, but I don't remember his name. We have one more. Bing bong. I think.
Yes, I got this one.
I
in.
Love Misty 1985 with a little DeSmith 99. Say his name, Joe Pavelski.
They wanted us to say it, so I said super chat's the only way we will say it. And
Well, Luds wanted the GM to say his name, so there we go.
there it
He
is.
said his name.
Thank you.
For Craig Ludwig, Sam Nessler, our departed but not gone, Sean Shapiro, and for our producer, John Anderson, I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us today. We have a game tomorrow and a game Sunday. Two big ones. Stars and Jets tomorrow night, 6:30 pregame show, 7 o'clock game up in Winnipeg. And then afternoon game on Sunday, a matinee in Denver. Rantanen back with the Colorado Avalanche. And boy, some hashing out to be had with Landeskog and the Avalanche with Mikko Rantanen.
But yeah, plenty of that. Go check my Twitter or go listen to just anything that's going on right now for the next step in that saga.
Should be fun. We'll talk about that with our pregame show starting tomorrow night at 6:30 right here on DLS. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
He's gonna finish his chicks.
Y'all silly like the mayor.